Hey, what's up all you action figure lovers out there? Master Marvel's back at it once again, bringing you another Toy Talk video. Got my guy Zach here. You know, he's back to join us with we're going to get into it now here. We're just going to nerd out and just have a good time. And hope you guys liked that last video. Really like to make a reoccurring issue of this where we,
Cool.
just get here together and shoot the shit, And real quick, this video is not for kids. This is for adults only, adult collectors. So if you're under the age of 13, you'll have to back up off of here, come back later. And so yeah, let's just get down to business, man. We got some comics here. We're gonna talk comics, and we're just gonna fucking talk. And you guys are gonna listen. So here we go.
So, I mean, you've
I did read the Killing Joke. Yeah.
Killing Joke. That's a great story. You haven't seen the animated version yet. You need to check that out. It's got Mark Hamill playing the Joker, Kevin Conroy
Good
playing
deal.
Batman. It's like the cast from the animated series. Like the music segment that's in this is fully sung by Mark Hamill as the Joker in it. It's awesome. One of the things I will say about this deluxe edition, which
if it's available, I have to take a look.
Yeah.
Pick it up next time I go out.
yeah, check that out.
I do want to see it.
It's awesome. I don't have a physical copy, otherwise I'd let you borrow it. But one of the things I don't like about the deluxe edition is that they recolored everything in this, which is just kind of strange to me. Because the coloring was so muted. Maybe they thought they wanted to do more like realistic coloring. There's like a scene with the Joker sitting on a throne of baby heads, the baby doll heads, and it's like really dark red, and actually with something really
They diluted it somehow.
They made it more realistic coloring rather than like the dark red and like the. I just feel like it took something away from it by making it more realistic. But this story is fantastic.
Yeah, I read this not too long ago, actually. It was a quick read, too. I thought it would be, because, like, there's a lot of pages here, but the story cuts off, like...
It goes fast.
Like, well, that's it, right there. The rest of this is all sketch work and just different stuff from, it's not actual part of the story.
I mean, it's a classic, too. But something's really funny that I don't know if I ever talked to you about. They parodied... South Park parodied this whole story.
Oh shit.
They did a whole episode. That episode where Cartman fed that kid his dad in chili. He did a revenge episode where he was basically the Joker and Cartman was Batman, and he was like trying to get revenge on Cartman. He was like sitting on the same throne with the baby doll heads, and it was really strange.
I'll have to check that out too, man. That sounds pretty awesome.
But yeah, that story's fantastic. I mean, you ever heard about people saying they wonder if Batman killed the Joker at the end of the story? Have you ever heard that?
You get a cliffhanger like that. I was under the impression that he did. He went through with it.
I mean, obviously he didn't from like the story perspective afterwards, but I don't know if Alan Moore meant to kill the Joker, have Batman kill the Joker at the end, and they just kind of were like, no, he didn't, and just swept it under the rug and kept going.
Because Batman wouldn't do something like that.
No, main Batman wouldn't do anything like that, but this Batman would indeed kill anyone and everyone.
He did kill a lot of people, didn't he?
Oh, yes. This story is just
I'm
fantastic.
gonna have to take a look at that one.
This is really good. It's already out of print, unfortunately, so it's real hard to get a hold of. But I'm sure they'll do a paperback print that's going to be a lot cheaper later on. But, man, this story is just, like... I mean, this is coming off of Batman Metal, where they first introduced the Batman Who Laughs. And he's got, like, the dark metal that covers up his eyes, and he can, like, see into other dimensions using the dark metal. So he can see different possibilities of things. And then, like,
I got to get that action figure, man.
Yeah. I can't wait to get it either. He comes into the main DC universe, and he's just destroying he's causing absolute havoc. And, like, now... I haven't read any of this stuff since this story came out, but I know now he's like infected. Little spoiler for what's going on after this. He infected Shazam, Captain Marvel. So now he's like a Jokerized version of him running around. And they're like infecting other heroes, trying to make
so it's almost like a zombie.
It's like a Joker League or something. It's really strange. And like in this story though, Batman gets Batman gets infected by the Joker, and on purpose, because Joker thinks, well, the only way you can beat this evil Batman is to be thinking like him. So Joker purposely infects Bruce, and like tries to make him figure out how to beat this guy. And like Batman, by his sheer will, tries to not be this evil Batman. He tries not to turn into this version of Batman. And it's really interesting. And they also have this whole subplot with Gordon and his son. And I don't know if you know about Gordon's son, James Gordon Jr. He's a psychopath. He is like a more traditional, realistic murderer. He killed his teacher. He's done all this horrible stuff. He took Batgirl, and when she was still paralyzed, and he put knives in her legs, and he says that if I take one of these out, you'll bleed to death. And he ended up getting stopped.
I think I remembered that, actually. It does stand out to me as something. I remember that happening.
He got stopped by when Dick Grayson was Batman, and like he got stuck in the eye, and like they carried that over. You can see his like eye is just messed up. There's a big subplot where they get the Batman Beyond suits. Gordon and his son, and they're like running around with the Batman Beyond suits.
Huh.
They just
trying to take out the Batman Who Laughs.
And there's like a Punisher version of the Batman in this story too, where this version of Batman right here, he's the Punisher Batman. When his parents were shot in the alleyway, he picked up the gun that killed his parents and shot that guy. Shot Joe Chill.
Oh, wow.
And so he became like this Punisher Batman, and he runs around and like does all this crazy stuff. And I don't even like this.
So a quick question though about this. Okay, so this is basically an alternate universe now, right? Like has the real Batman ever been able to confront the Batman Who Laughs?
What
does that happen?
Yes, starting in Batman Metal, this Batman came to the main DC universe.
Okay.
With a few other evil Batmen, like an evil Green Lantern Batman, an evil Flash Batman, one that's got like Venom powers, like from like the Venom, like Bane.
Yeah.
And then there's a Punisher Batman in this one. And he's just like out to make Bruce Wayne's life a living hell, and he does pretty good at it. I know that whenever they were doing they're doing the Doomsday Clock, Dr. Manhattan looked at this guy as like was looking into him. I haven't read that far into the story, other than I know
that has to do with Watchmen.
It's Doomsday Clock is like a sequel to Watchmen.
Okay. That's
separate from the show that they're doing.
Right.
That they're doing, and it's done now, and it was kept getting delayed and delayed. But it's supposed to be really good. I've only read the first half. The second half comes out in like June or May, and I'm gonna pick that up for sure and read the rest of it. I usually read mine through trades instead of like single issues.
I'm definitely glad that you stay on top of the comic sources and you read comics, man. We need people like that still in the community who are devoted to reading the comic books, because you're getting the source of the material right there. You know, like I like the plastic, you like the pages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's definitely some carryover between those two for sure.
Definitely.
And like.
You have to know what you're talking about when you're talking about them.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. This is another one, and what I really like is this is a single issue. This is a single full issue of a comic, but it's got a spine, so it tells you like what issue it is and everything. And like I really like DC's doing this more. Like they're doing this thing where, like they did these the Dark Multiverse stories where you looked into where like the Batman Who Laughs comes from, and like other versions of like what ifs, like but they go horribly wrong, and they're all done with spines, and they actually tell you what issue it is, so you can put it on your bookshelf instead of having the single issues and you have to deal with a long box and all that. I don't really like doing that.
So it's like a graphic novel.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little one, and then they're doing their the Black series right now, where they're doing all these other stories. Like I read Harleen. I don't know if you've heard about that one. It's just retelling how Harley Quinn became Harley Quinn.
Sure.
And she like delves into like the mindset of the Joker and how she thinks she gets him, and like, but it's from the perspective of her after she realizes she made a big mistake. So she. But
she's already kind of in it to win it.
Yeah, and then like it's looking at her when she was doing it, and it's really interesting. And they have this whole thing with Harley and Harvey Dent, where Harley becomes Harley Quinn at the same time that Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face. And there's a scene where somebody gets killed, and Harley takes the blood and she writes Harley and Harvey, and then she wipes away everything except ha ha. Cool. And that was something. And it's interesting to see that. It was very, very realistic too. But something I wanted to say about this is I really love this version of Superman. He's fighting the KKK in this, or not really the KKK, but they are. And this is based on an audio story, a radio drama from years ago, where they snuck in secret messages to reveal the KKK secrets to the public, so that they could recognize when something was happening, so they could stop them from like hurting people. And then this is like an adaptation of that, and it's about a Chinese family that moves into like the main part of Metropolis, and they go after this Chinese family, and Superman doesn't really get involved at first, but it's like Jimmy Olsen is involved, and he knows them, and they're like, turns out one of their friends is like uncle is the head of the KKK, and so he feels bad about it, so he's like, you kind of feel for him too, because he's like, he's got this role model of his uncle who took in his mom and him when his dad died, and he's like looking up to this guy.
But he's got a dark side.
The guy he looks up to is the leader of the KKK, and so he's like, I'm looking up to Superman too, and it was really good. And there's still a third part coming out. I've only read the first two, but this is really good. I definitely recommend that. I recommend all these.
I definitely want to check out this one here.
The Batman Who Laughs.
And the next one you're going to talk about. I'm really geeked about
this. This is one of my favorite stories that they ever did, and it's Justice League Avengers. Justice League of America Avengers. It's... you get everything here. You get Batman and Captain America fighting, Thor and Superman fighting, Hercules fights Wonder Woman. That one's interesting because Hercules in... DC is like a villain.
This is why we need 6-inch action figures for DC characters, man.
Yeah.
So that we can fucking tangle them up with our Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
7-inch. Still a little bit butthurt about that.
Same. Thor's hammer is going to be a little bit too small in Superman's hands if you have a 6-inch Thor.
Guess you'll have to use Marvel Selects, I guess. It's the next best thing to 7-inch scaled Marvel figures, I guess. And they don't do too bad. I'm just going to keep on talking about toys.
No, you're good.
All the time. He talks about comics, I talk about toys.
I can go on and on about this. I can go on and on about comics if you let me. I have to be stopped. But this story, you even get like Darkseid. He gets the Infinity Gauntlet.
Because why wouldn't he?
And I know that, Thanos is kind of based on Darkseid, sort of. But right here, yeah. He gets the Infinity Gauntlet. And then this whole story hinges on this whole thing between the Grand Master and the Krona, who is a villain who accidentally caused the creation of the multiverse in DC. He went back in time to the beginning of time and to look and see like who created reality, and he accidentally split the Earths, which caused the Crisis on Infinite Earths and all that to happen. He wasn't in the Crisis CW story that they did. He wasn't in that. But he wants to see the beginning of the universe, and he wants to talk to Galactus, because Galactus was there. And so he makes a wager with the Grandmaster, who's always into games. And he's like, I want... If my team wins, both universes are destroyed, and I find out what I want to know. If your team wins, I'm going to leave. But we're going to switch teams. So the Grandmaster has to support DC. And so if DC doesn't win, if Marvel wins, both universes will be destroyed. And that's kind of the setup of the whole thing. They're forced to fight. And it's awesome.
Oh, like Secret Wars.
It's like Secret Wars, but like even bigger. Or like Crisis on Infinite Earths, but even bigger.
Yeah, they're crossing universes here.
And like at one point, the two universes get changed to where they all known each other for years. It's so cool to see like all this happen.
And that's what we want too as fans, is we want to see our favorite heroes from these different universes interacting with each other. That's what we want to see. We want them to believe that they've known each other all these years. Why not?
I would die if they did a DC Marvel crossover movie, or even a game, honestly. If they did a Lego DC Marvel crossover, I would be just...
I feel like that's plausible. I think that it's just going to happen eventually.
I would like it. They haven't done it since this, really. Since Disney got Marvel, they haven't really done it. Warner...
Did you ever think you were going to get like a Planet Hulk or World War Hulk type movie?
Oh no, I didn't expect that at all.
Well, you know, we've recently found out that Marvel now has full rights for Hulk.
Yeah.
So they do independent movies now, and they're hinting around to that.
I would like that. I think that they could do it more close to the source material now, especially with like
all the variety of characters we have.
Yeah, and the Grandmaster, like they need to take him out of the story if they're going to do Planet Hulk faithfully, because they have this guy called the Red King, and he has to be taken down.
The Red King.
And they'd have to change a lot, really, but that's okay.
And Beta Ray Bill's supposed to be coming around too, isn't he? Are we supposed to be seeing him in a movie?
We should see Beta Ray Bill.
Like, I think in this new Thor, the Love, whatever, that new one that's supposed to be coming out, Love and Thunder. I think they talked about Beta Ray Bill possibly being in that.
I would like that. I mean, I just want to see more obscure characters, or more characters that everybody loves that we haven't seen yet. There's some characters I don't know why they're not in the Marvel movies. There's some characters that I don't know why they've used in the DC movies. One of the things I'm really looking forward to DC movie-wise, they're going to do a New Gods movie. And I don't know if you know about, Jack Kirby.
Sure.
He's great at Marvel. He came over to DC and he made Darkseid, and he took over for Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and all that. And he made like the Demon. If you ever, him, he was like Etrigan. I love the New Gods. Like, basically what he wanted to do with Thor, at Marvel, he wanted to do the New Gods, where all the old gods died and these new gods took their place. They wouldn't let him do it. They wouldn't let him kill off people in Marvel. So he's like, all right, I'm going to take my stuff and I'm going to go to DC. So he went to DC and he created Darkseid. He created Orion, Mr. Miracle, who's just, I love him.
Orion reminds me of Zodiac from Masters of the Universe. Zodiac.
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. And
cosmic traveler who pretty much balances out things. And
then there's that guy, Mobius, who's in the I can't remember his name right now. He's in the Mobius chair. He, like, Batman gets the Mobius chair in a story, and like he knows everything. That's a really good story. But like, I want to see this movie. I want to see the New Gods movie, really bad. And I really hope they do a good job and a faithful job to that.
Well, have they talked about like any type of release dates for it or anything?
No, they just have a director and a writer.
Okay. So the wheels are turning anyway.
Yeah, for sure. They're planning it, and they need to do New Gods before they do anything with Darkseid. I don't know if they're going to continue the DC movie verse. I know they're doing Flash and they're doing Wonder Woman. I don't know if I even really want to see that version of Batman again. Batman v Superman, I hated it that he killed people. I told myself I wouldn't see the movie if Batman killed people in that movie, and I still went and saw it, and I kind of was mad at myself for it.
Yeah, they did go a different direction with Batman, didn't they?
Very much so, and I hope the Robert Pattinson Batman doesn't kill people. I'm still on the fence about it, but like with the previous Batman character, like actors, there are people that I didn't think would play Batman that they did an okay job, so I could see him doing okay. It just,
Affleck did a pretty good job for what it was worth.
Yeah, he did.
I was impressed.
It was more the writing and then the direction they took.
I was horrified when I first found out about it, but you know, he sold me on it.
Yeah. Batfleck.
You know, with DC's new successful release that they just did with the rated R Joker solo movie.
Oh yeah.
Just proves to me that they're capable of making good dark solo movies. So what I would like to see is them give us a fucking Lobo movie.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
It's hardcore, man. Like,
yeah.
I want to see it. I don't know, and even make it to where, unlock it to where he is going to be a part of the DC universe, or the DC universe as well, to where he could be later in cameos in other movies, like do him kind of like Marvel's doing with Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. They need to do more rated R superhero movies, especially for like those characters. I really don't like. I loved the Daredevil Netflix show, the Punisher Netflix show.
Those are very
Jessica
good.
Jones was fantastic. I even liked Iron Fist.
Defenders was good. Yeah, they were all pretty good.
And
Luke Cage.
Those are definitely R-rated, and Disney Plus is getting those characters, and they're not going to do R-rated. And I just feel like that those characters aren't going to be as...
I think that they're going to try to push their PG-13, though, to the limits. Which is, I mean, it's still iffy, but I mean,
Jessica Jones, you see it the first season, you see a dude putting somebody's arm down a garbage disposal. You're not going to see anything like that.
No.
But I mean, you don't need the violence, but in those situations, when you see that, you're like, wow, this is a real threat.
And they can be toned down, but, you know, certain things you don't want to tone them down too much and take away what's great about the characters, you know?
Yeah, especially Punisher.
Yeah.
Like he would hurt the most, I think. He needs to be R-rated.
Yep, I agree. Some just have to be.
Yeah.
And Disney, I mean, we know Disney, okay? It's been all about kids forever, but the kids that you were targeting 30, 40, 50 years ago are, you know, still big part of the Disney world, and we're grown now, and we can also handle some rated R stuff. So don't just think of yourselves anymore as just a source for kids. You're a source for everyone of all ages. So to open yourselves up to more dark and gritty things is not going to hurt your image, I don't think, at all, really.
Especially when it comes
with the times.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff they've acquired, like Marvel Zombies.
They're trying to own everything. So if you're gonna buy and own all these properties,
you can't sanitize everything.
Yeah, don't sanitize everything. Exactly, well said. You know, don't water shit down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We know what we know what you're capable of, and you hire all the writers and everything from all these other previous R-rated movies to do your writings for you and stuff, and you want to tone them down and everything. Just let it happen. You know, give us some dark and R-rated shit. We can take it. If we don't want our kids to see it, that's our choice to make.
Yeah, we don't want Disney to parent our kids either. Like, I feel like a lot of people, that's a problem. They want the media to parent their kids, and so they're like they see something that they don't like on TV and they get really up in arms over it, and I think that's a big problem.
And they don't want to hear all the crying too. When they do put something, they do air something that's questionable, boom, instantly, like the media blows up comments, and you got all these people crying and boohooing. Oh, my kid had, tough shit. If you don't like it, change the channel.
Like, okay, there's an example. When I was a kid, I saw part of Child's Play when I was like 5 or something, and that gave me nightmares for like 2 years. And that was my dad's fault. But I mean, I forgive him now. But that wasn't that Child's Play existed's fault. It was my dad's fault. It was my parents' fault. And it's just stuff like that.
Yeah, and ratings make a difference, man. You put the rating on it. I mean, that's to be respected by whoever, if I go and I buy a Disney movie that's rated R, am I going to watch it while my kids are still up and they take, and they watch it too? Or maybe I'll wait and I'll watch it, That's us as being parents.
Yeah.
Let us make that decision. Don't water everything down that you got, because, like, you're already, the Deadpool situation.
That's a big one.
It was successful with what it was, and there's aspirations for future stuff with it that could be very successful if you get your hands on it, which you already are, and making deals, and just don't water it down too much. Give it still the free reign that it had to appease to the viewers and stuff, because we don't want to see. Already, I could see Deadpool making his next movie and making some reference to the Little Mermaid or something.
Yeah.
And it would be funny, but I mean,
it can work if it's done well. Like, I guess one of the good examples that I have is Wreck-It Ralph, which is a kid's movie. They shoehorned in the princesses at the end. And, like, I like the middle scene with them, but at the end, they just showed up out of nowhere, and it just felt like they were pandering to themselves for being Disney. And it was just kind of strange.
And the little girl that was in the movie, the racing girl, what was her name?
Vanellope.
Vanellope, they pretty much, doing that, they made her a princess too now. So she's one of the Disney princesses herself.
I did laugh when she sang into the puddle, though. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah,
that was funny. I thought that was pretty funny. She's like the worst princess.
My girlfriend is big Disney. She's Disney lover, so we get a lot of Disney around here.
I mean, I loved a lot of Disney stuff growing up, but I just feel like their
favorite movie, Sword in the Stone, dude.
That's
Love
a great
that movie.
That's a great movie. I just wish that they, especially with Marvel and Star Wars, they need to have less grip over things. And I know that with Star Wars, they don't have a huge grip on it, but Marvel for sure.
Because Star Wars doesn't have to be heavy, dark, it doesn't have to have.
Although Rogue One was.
I mean,
Rogue One
some violence, yes.
Yeah.
It's necessary, but.
Mandalorian's been fantastic.
I would love to get a chance to see that, but then that'll kill more data on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good show. But yeah, what I was saying earlier, they're gonna do that Marvel Zombies episode of the What If show that they're doing, and I am terrified. I know they're gonna do it. They're gonna tone it down way too much. You need to have Captain America's top of his head out with pieces of his brain hanging out. You gotta have his arm, like Spider-Man shooting like the veins out of his arm for webs.
I don't see the danger in it though, in a way, because and I'm only thinking back to this. Okay, let's go back to the Brendan Fraser mummy movies. Okay, those were good movies, well adapted mummy powers, and there was some little bit scary, but there was also a lot of good humor.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's a funny movie, so. I don't know if I would say that's even Disney. I don't think it is.
No, I think that was Universal.
But that has a feel of something that Disney would be capable of doing. So if Disney was to do some kind of a Marvel zombie movie, doing at least that kind of depth in the zombie world, I think they can make it work out.
I know that the first one was R-rated, but I'm pretty sure that The Mummy Returns was PG-13.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean,
pick up more fan base. But.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't know if you like the Evil Dead series. The third movie if you watch that movie, it's R-rated. It's about as scary as Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why that has an R rating.
Yeah, well, the actor that plays Ash he's a funny guy. Like he reminds me of fucking Jim Carrey, dude. In
Bruce Campbell's great.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I saw him one time in person. He was really funny.
Army of Darkness. I mean, there was some of the movies for being scary movies had some just goofy, funny parts to them. You know.
Yeah, he wants to play Superman. Did you hear about that?
Hey, let him, dude.
Yeah.
I think he would fit at least some kind of an older version of
He wants to be the Kingdom Come Superman.
That would
have
be
the gray.
Cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
I see it. Yeah, a little bit.
I did want to talk a little bit about Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know you haven't seen it yet. I really enjoyed it. And actually, they have some tie-in comics coming out for it now too, where like the CW versions of characters like they're meeting their comic book versions of them, and like they have like a legion of Lex Luthors that have all met on one universe, and now all the Supermen from other different universes are meeting with the CW Superman in the comics. And
that's cool, dude.
It's Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I'm really enjoying that. I really liked what Kevin Conroy did.
So this is all still WB though, right? This?
They all own it. Yeah, they own it. Warner Brothers owns all of DC. They bought them a long while back. Which I don't think Warner and Disney are going to work together to do a crossover anytime soon, but I really, really want them to. But CW on there, I know a lot of people make fun of that show. They think it's too cheesy. They think some of the acting and effects aren't great.
I love the Titans, man.
The Titan series?
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Good.
And then I'm looking forward to...
Doom Patrol wasn't bad.
Personally, I think Doom Patrol is like my favorite superhero show they've ever done. I am a huge Doom Patrol fan. I read all the comics. Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol is just by far the greatest wacky superhero story I've ever read. And it's emotional, and it's funny, and it's just bizarre. And the show managed to capture so much of that it made me really happy. The giant eyeball in the sky and all that.
Now, what did that show what gave birth to it? Was it the Titans series, or?
I think so, because I think a lot of people were positive towards like the Doom Patrol episode that they did. But those are in separate universes they've established. The Doom Patrol series and the Titans shows, because the Doom Patrol and the Titans show.
When my boy Nightwing shows up, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Having Nightwing show up in
now,
Titans.
That's second season of Titans, right?
Yeah, I think the second season was better.
Still ain't watched it though.
Yeah, the second season of Titans was better. The ending felt rushed. The whole first half was like almost a course correction to perfection. I don't remember them ever taking a show and course correcting it in a way that was that good to where it's like, this is exactly what I wanted the show to be. And then at the end, it felt like they needed like 2 or 3 more episodes. But, because they had so much going on, and then it just ends kind of fast. But I did love that season 2. I like season 2 a lot. Bruce Wayne shows up in it a lot more.
Sweet.
You don't get to see him as Batman, but...
I mean, they're really putting a lot of stuff out there, though, man. We're getting a lot of good DC TV series as opposed to big box office films.
Yeah, and then we'll have in The Flash, Ezra Miller showed up in the CW Flash.
I've seen that. I didn't see the show, but I've seen...
You've seen that part?
Yeah, you know, it was stuff like that. The groups and stuff that I follow on social media, man, stuff like that pops up all.
Yeah.
I keep updated on stuff I don't even get to really watch, but yeah, I've seen... And that's cool how they're doing that, because they're opening up yet another multiverse to work with.
Yeah, I mean, the movies are everything is connected. They even...
I'm gonna put my... I have my DC display down there, my cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Flash from the movie, but the TV series, when I have him tucked away in storage, well, that's changing now. I'm gonna put him on the same shelf with my... So that's what they're opening that open right there, so that... Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I really liked that they did with that is every movie, every show is connected. Everything. 66 Batman exists.
One good writing was able to tie all that together.
Yeah, 1989 Batman
exists
in the same world. And
this
even,
is what needed to happen for DC, man.
Yeah, they needed help and they got it. They linked everything, and then like even in the comics now, I know that there's like 52 universes in the DC comics, but they're having comic book characters meet these CW characters in the comic.
It worked for Marvel.
Yeah.
So
and DC's just taking it to a different level with the multiverse.
They found a different way to open that gateway.
Yeah. Something comic related that I didn't bring anything for, but I really want to mention two characters I really love that I think need to get more spotlight in DC. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I don't know if you've heard much about them.
I know both of who you're talking about, yeah.
The Blue and the Gold. They need to make a movie, Blue and the Gold.
That would be cool.
Team them up.
If not just a series.
Yeah, do a TV series. Yeah, sure.
Whatever. Get them guys out here.
I want to see them do stuff. And I love the Blue Beetle and I love Booster Gold, and
yeah, I mean they're getting more characters out there. Like they got like a Black Canary, and we're getting more obscure characters thrown into the cinematic world. So
they committed a crime by canceling Swamp Thing.
I know. What happened there, man?
First episode they just canceled. I think it had something to do with the AT&T the acquisition, but I don't know for sure.
I love Swamp Thing, man.
I know. He was. I have his entire origin all the way up to the end of the Alan Moore comics. I have so much of Swamp Thing. I love him.
That's good shit.
And yeah, he's great. But I could go on and on about comics. What are some of your favorite comics that you really love?
I'm a big X-Men fan. That's where I really dig deep into comics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least used to when I was big into comics. But like my favorite storyline, I think, was probably the Age of Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I love that storyline, and that's like a good topic right there too, because I'm also a big toy collector, Marvel Legends collector, and they've already revealed last year that this year we're getting Age of Apocalypse, like whole wave, and we're probably gonna get multiple waves of that. So I'm gonna have my favorite fucking comic book characters come to life on my shelf, and I'm so excited about that because oh man, yeah, big fan of that. Love Magneto, but yeah, I mean there's just so much stuff that Marvel's done. I mean you'd be surprised how little comics I actually do read, but still know the ins and outs of them.
There's plenty of people that, I don't want to go after anybody, but there's some people that they watch.
I'm a summarizer. Like I get the summarization of what's going on in the comics, and I get to know enough that if it really intrigues me enough that I want to get the whole source and read everything, then I will. But often I know what's going on without having to actually read every comic book.
Yeah, my worry is that there's some people who are super into like the movies, especially like the Marvel movies, and they have never touched a comic in their life and they never plan on it, but they say they're a big Marvel fan. I don't get that. I mean, just read like a few comics, just check them out.
That just means that those movies were that well done, where they were able to reach people
that have no interest in comics.
Exactly. But now suddenly they're just like. They call themselves even Marvel lovers, like.
And they never touched the comics.
Maybe you love Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you know.
You could. I mean, I guess you could be a Marvel fan and not read the comics, but I feel like you're missing out on.
You're missing out. Yeah, you gotta. At some point in time in your life, you have to have some sort of aid for your love of the source. You know what I mean? You have to. Whether it was watching like He-Man, you know, growing up. It was the action figures in the cartoon show for me. Mm-hmm. Granted, they came with the mini comics, but I really wasn't interested in reading them a whole lot.
Yeah.
I didn't collect the comics back then, the regular comics. So it was all about the cartoon and the action figures. Yeah. But growing up, you go back and you reflect on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I mean, I'm, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to attack people who aren't interested in the comics. You can still be a Marvel fan. I just feel like you should, if you love Marvel movies so much, just check out some of the comics, please. They're awesome. They're where so much of your things you love come from.
And don't expect everything to be the exact same either, from page to picture, because you're not going to get that.
You're not getting adaptations.
The writers have to do something different to make the movies appeasing to not just everybody, or not just to the comic fans, but to everybody.
And I mean, I think about that a lot. I want people who like Marvel movies and like DC movies to check out the comics, because that's where a lot of the heart and soul of those stories came from. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to. You can just be a casual enjoyer of it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the movies create new adaptations for the comic books.
Yeah, the comics...
like, they stylize the Avengers now. The comics and the pages, they look just like from the movie, because they converted it. So, I mean, if you like one, you'll like the other. And then the comics, they go more in depth.
The comics have been running for so long. I think a lot of people get a little overwhelmed. And really what you need to do is you need to just go online, say what's a good starting point for Batman? What's a good starting point for Captain America? And just hop on and see where it takes you. And if you hear about something later on that was referenced, an old thing, just say, hey, maybe I'll get that someday. You don't have to read everything to be a comic book lover. You can just read a few comics and just enjoy them. You don't need to be obsessive crazy about it. I have so many comics, and I kind of get that way, but I don't want people to think that that's how people are. You know what I mean?
Well, and think about it too, like this, like just... Okay, comic books are like books. That's what they are. Books and movies. Like, if you're to watch, okay, let's say the Harry Potter movies. They're good movies and stuff, but if you were to just watch the movies and that's it, yeah, you'd find that they're good movies. But if you were to read the books, they're page flippers. They're really great.
You get a lot more.
And a lot more to it. So, comic books are the same way. The movies, they may be good and they may, some of them spot on. But if you really want to get a good, whatever you're watching, you like it, go and read a comic book, because you'll be that much more,
One of the reasons I brought this,
excited.
why I brought JLA Avengers...
So you leave it here so I can read it.
One of the reasons I brought this is because if this happened now, even just as a comic, people on the internet would have gone insane. People would be going nuts over this.
Because of the possibilities, too, that could happen now in the cinematic world.
Yeah, movies, comics, versions, people would go nuts for this stuff, but it was before MCU. It was before comics became a mainstream thing, and I said people don't have to read all this old stuff to like get into comics, but there's some great old stuff like this that people should check out, or like your dream idea might already exist as a comic. Like if you have ideas for characters, they might have already done that sometime in the comics. You should check it out. But I feel like I'm selling comics really hard, but independent comics too, not just like Marvel and DC. There's all sorts of cool independent comics. Like one I read, Harrow County by Cullen Bunn. That one's really cool. It's horror. It's like this girl who she's the reincarnation of a witch, and all this even her dad wants to kill her at one point because she's the reincarnation of this witch, and it's cool. Like I can't recommend that one enough. It's really awesome. IDW's got some cool stuff. I just read Power Rangers Justice League crossover. That was really cool. You get to see Alpha 5 as a giant fighting a giant monster. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you just reminded me too, though. It's like, cause the Power Ranger comics, like I didn't even read any of them. I didn't even know that the Power Ranger comics existed, to be honest with you. You were just telling me recently you read about the Lord Drakon stuff.
Yeah. I even played the game version that came out on the Switch. But that story was really good. You get this evil version of the Green Ranger, but he has the White Ranger and Green Ranger powers together, and he's taken over the world. He's killed Rita Repulsa, and now he's like going to other universes. And that story was just amazing. And one of the I
love my Power Rangers Lightning collection, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I just want to go over there and get my figure, you know, because he's talking about it. I just want to play with it.
I love that you have the dragon shield on him there. But the one of the cool things that they did with that like comic and what they did with the Power Rangers comics in general, they aged it up for people that watched it when they were kids. So like you've got the government involved sometimes, you've got the military sometimes involved in the stories, and that's really cool. If you like Power Rangers as a kid, you will like these comics because they grew up with you. That's what they did with this story. And like you'll see people with guns. You'll see it's really cool what they did.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Power Rangers.
I loved them so much when I was a kid, but I tried to watch some of it, and besides like the Green Ranger episodes and a few main stories.
When he became the White Ranger, man. I was watching him back then. I was like about 13 when they first came out with Power Rangers.
I was younger, but
I was getting grown already.
Yeah, I was younger.
But it was my jam, though. I liked it until when it was no longer Mighty Morphin and went on to other stuff. I just kind of started losing interest in it.
I followed it to Turbo and then Space Rangers in Space, and then I quit because I got too old too. But I also watched Beetleborgs, Big Bad Beetleborgs. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was into that too. There's a lot of stuff that I watched as a kid that I don't think I could watch now.
Yeah, same. Like the Goosebumps, the old Goosebump TV show.
I could still watch Goosebumps.
We tried, man. We got them over during Halloween. We sit and watch them, like, nodding off and stuff. Like, oh my god, this is just...
I can still watch Goosebumps myself, but and Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, yeah.
Those are some great scary kid shows. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely try to keep doing these videos. We lagged on quite a bit here.
We did.
We're gonna be wanting to wrap this up here pretty soon. But yeah, we just want to keep talking. We want to get together and nerd out and stuff. So we're gonna try to maybe do this, you know, maybe once a week or something. You know, give you guys new stuff. Definitely let us know in the comments and everything what you guys think of these videos.
I mean, I love doing this. So.
And yeah, I mean, he likes it. I like it. It's a lot of fun. And before we get off here, though, I just wanted to real quick definitely thank Zach for coming on here and giving me something new to add to my show, because I feel like, I mean, it's sometimes a little dry because it's just constantly action figure reviews and stuff like that, and I'm trying to spice up my channel a little bit, get new things going on. But thank Zach for being on here. I went ahead and got you some stuff that I wanted you know, some consolation prizes, if you will. You know, some shit we've taken a look at.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some little copies here.
It's awesome. Let's take these up. I'm gonna open them tonight. Put them on my shelf.
I wouldn't doubt it, man, because these are, like, you got to see them here firsthand, you know, mess around with them. But you're gonna have a lot of fun with these guys. And they're going to look badass on your shelf, man.
Yep, thank you so much.
No
thank you for letting me come on the show.
Yeah, I really appreciate having you on. So we'll try to do this more often. I know you got your work and your schedule flips and switches a lot.
It's nuts.
We'll just we'll find a day and we'll do it. We'll do something once a week and try to spice some shit up for the viewers, and maybe I'll get down and doing some toy hunts here pretty soon. But yeah, definitely thanks again for coming. Thanks to everybody for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Read comics. Enjoy what you like. Keep watching.
Alright, man. So, alright. As always, MasterMarvel80 here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace.